Good morning and welcome to Travisso Luxury Living. We're here at a gorgeous Taylor Morrison model home in Leander, Texas, in the wonderful hill country setting of Travisso, joined by Tim Packard, Sales Director at Taylor Morrison. Welcome, Tim.
Thank you so much.
And one of my colleagues, Raquel Atwell, Travisso resident and longtime highly accomplished real estate agent.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you very much. Glad to be here.
Glad to have y'all here. So we were talking about this amazing lifestyle. Today just happens to be a gorgeous day. It's like air conditioning outside. Feels like the beautiful spring day that it is. And arriving here today and just thinking about this moment in time in Leander, Texas, recently named one of the fastest growing cities in the country.
Yes, sir.
You can kind of see the allure of the community before you even make it to the model court, the streetscape, the topography, gentle rolling hills out here. It's just absolutely gorgeous. Tim, Taylor Morrison's been in Travisso for some time, co-developer and an excellent choice for consumers in this market. What's driving him here?
Yeah, I think what's driving people to Travisso is just the beautiful hill country. Obviously, great schools in this area with Leander ISD, our beautiful amenity centers, and just the sense of arrival when you arrive to Travisso, like you mentioned, the hill country views, the rolling hills. I mean, you drive down Travisso Parkway, and it's just an amazing place to be.
You're so on point with that. You really feel the hill country here, but you're close into Central Austin.
Very close, very close.
I've talked to a lot of home buyers that have thought about Central Austin. Certainly, everyone loves the idea of living in Central Austin. Sometimes traffic can be a little prohibitive, but in addition, pricing can be prohibitive. And I think there's buyers that don't want to compromise on their goals. Mm-hmm. But as services, retail, restaurants, hospitals, great schools have continued to kind of tilt the value proposition this direction, I've seen some of those people look and say, I don't want to compromise. I want my 4-bedroom home with luxury finishes, but I don't want to pay $2.5 or $3 million. I still want to have, an affordable home, a home that I own, not a home that owns me.
Correct.
And I think the idea of being able to own luxury this close to Central Austin with phenomenal schools in a planned unit development like this really makes this a compelling opportunity.
It really does. I was faced with that particular situation years ago when Travisso first started. And I was fortunate to see the beauty of it, first of all, even though it was early on.
Yes.
But just driving here, I felt like was just getting away a little bit, but yet really not far away at all. And driving in to the community, the entry monument from day one was pristine. What's been a beautiful thing to see is they've kept all of the entry with trees and just rolling, the rolling hills in general. Just driving here was just scenic. Now, after living here, after the years that I've been in our home, my husband and I built, and I can tell you, we made a great decision. We've enjoyed the elevated lifestyle, not only of our home and our design by Taylor Morrison. We did buy a home with Taylor Morrison. The process, it was lovely. We had to pick our lot, and we ended up building our home. But yet the community, we've watched it grow. We've watched people that through the years make decisions and kind of fall within us, our decision as well, that we made a good decision and buying here. And it's just expanded. The community has grown. We've seen, with the different series that they offer here, you get young families, you get, just overall, just a variety. I'm an empty nester. I'm a grandparent now, and have enjoyed the amenities. And even with the new amenity that just opened up, we go from bocce to the zip line over there. So it's just been really been a great place for us.
I think it speaks volumes that as a realtor, with actually a foundation of years of experience in new home sales, so maybe a well-trained set of eyes and the ability to evaluate different types of new home values that were offered all across the city, and you arrived at Travisso as your destination.
Yes, we did. We did look around. We did look around. We had an opportunity. It was a clean slate, empty nesters. We could have gone in any direction, but we were definitely drawn with the design of the neighborhood. It's like none other. We have a community with rolling hills and just it's a value of price points with the different series that are being offered. And for us, it was economical because we wanted to be in our home and looking for a specific time of home. And this neighborhood offered all of that. It's a full package, all in all.
It really is.
It really is.
The streetscape here is unparalleled. It is like hill country living in the city with great schools and great amenities. And to that point, you touched on this just a little bit. Tim, can you talk to us a little bit about some of the amenities that are part of the experience here in Travisso?
We have a amenity center that's been well established and part of the community for many years now.
The Palazzo.
The Palazzo has beautiful pool, exercise facilities, places to do meetings and take meetings there, and just a general place to meet with friends and family from the community, right? And so now we have the Forum, which is our brand new amenity center. The two amenity centers are very different. The Palazzo, a little bit more traditional in styling to Travisso, and then we built the Forum with something a little bit new and modern in styling to kind of create some differences there. The new amenity center has beautiful pool, great rec rooms, pool tables, those types of things, basketball courts, bocce fields. I mean, something for everyone, really.
Yeah, and I think that's well framed. We look at communities like this, and the way that the amenities are placed within the community, I think is very well done. The hill country is not really just a backdrop here. It's kind of part of the DNA.
It is
of
part
the
of the
whole
living.
Yes.
It
community.
is part of the living.
Yeah. And at the Forum, I mean, you can't beat the view from the Forum pool. I mean, when you are in that pool and you're overlooking the hill country, it's gorgeous. It's very, very, very pretty.
Well, Central Texas continues to be a magnet for people to relocate to from other areas. We still have a thriving technology sector and a healthy local economy and a lifestyle that I think people have heard about. Maybe they've vacationed here. And so when faced with an opportunity to relocate to the area, a lot of people choose the Austin area. And the last buyers that I had that purchased in the Travisso community came over. It was a gentleman that worked in the technology sector, but young family with kids not yet in school, but just liked the way that the community looked and felt and the amenities. What are you seeing among the types of people buying in the community, and where are they coming from? What's driving them?
Yes, definitely. Like you mentioned, the high-tech sector jobs are bringing people here from all over the country. We're seeing, of course, the folks from California. We're seeing them from, Washington State, Michigan, New York, pretty much all over the country moving here. And they're moving here for jobs, and they're moving here for quality of life and affordability, right? So we think about buying a home like this in the California area is very unaffordable for most people. And they can come here and buy a 5,000 square foot home and have the luxury lifestyle that they're looking for with the hill country views and maybe some of the scenery that they get in California as well. And it's very attractive for those folks. And so, yeah, we're seeing a wide range of different types of people purchasing here in Travisso. And you'd be surprised that majority of our buyers are first-time home buyers.
That is a little surprising. Now, I think that Taylor Morrison offers a variety of new home product here. So you do have home product for people that are just getting started. And it's surprising. Sometimes we see first-time buyers purchasing $1 million home.
That's 100% true.
Or sometimes it's
Yes.
something a bit more modest. But I'd love to explore a little bit more about what Taylor Morrison offers here in the community, their, kind of the breadth of their offerings.
So we offer homes on 50-foot wide home sites, 60-foot wide home sites, 70-foot wide home sites, and then we're also in our 80-foot wide product here.
Excellent.
So, yeah.
So a little something for everyone there.
Yes, for
And
sure.
demographically speaking, young families, empty nesters, school-age kids.
School-age kids.
That's what I see in the
Yeah.
neighborhood.
Yeah.
You see the family that actually could be have their grandparents living within the same community because they have that ability to find a home within the same community, and you see it in the community. It's nice. So it's a pleasure to see that lifestyle as well.
100%.
Now,
We're also seeing
Yeah.
just, people planning for their future, right? They might just be two people living in the home now, but they're buying 3,000, 4,000 square feet because they're planning for this to be a home that they're going to be in for a very long period of time. We're also seeing multi-generational families.
Yeah.
Right.
That's been a very large trend across the Austin market. And I think in general, for, to have parents living with them, to have relatives come and live with them. So it's been great to see that.
So I'm glad you touched on that, because I think we're talking about people that are buying to meet their current needs, but also their future needs.
Their
right?
future needs, right?
And when we talk about that, I think we're hard pressed to ignore where we are at this moment in time within the greater Central Texas real estate market. So just talking about that journey, right? We had this long run, really from about 2011 up until around the time COVID started, where we just had very steady,
Right.
reliable growth, 3 to 5% appreciation a year,
Yep.
very healthy market, solid demand, generally still, kind of tilting a little bit more in favor of sellers. And then suddenly everyone was housebound and hyper-focused on what their home looked like. They didn't know how long they were going to be housebound.
Yes.
But by golly, they wanted to make sure where they lived was anything and everything they wanted it to be. So we had a climate where people were housebound. They're focused on making sure they could enjoy that life, and rates were low, and things just exploded. Crazy growth, 20% appreciation a year for back-to-back years. Certainly that wasn't sustainable. And now things are getting back into balance. So when we come back from the break, I want to talk a little bit about what that balance means for today's consumer and what kind of opportunity that presents as they look forward.
Keyword, opportunity. It's a time of opportunity, for sure.
We'll come back and discuss that opportunity right after this.
Welcome to Travisso, where luxury living meets the serenity of the hill country. Surrounded by nature, Travisso offers a quiet escape from the city, with scenic views, fresh air, and space to slow down and breathe. From resort-style amenities and a stunning clubhouse to walking trails, pools, and gathering spaces, every detail here is designed for comfort and connection. It's a place where mornings feel calm, afternoons feel effortless, and evenings feel like home. Featuring beautifully crafted homes from builders like Taylor Morrison and Toll Brothers, Travisso brings thoughtful design and luxury living into the heart of the hill country. Here, life moves at a different pace, peaceful, welcoming, and inspired by nature. Welcome to Travisso, where home feels like a retreat. Come experience Travisso today and discover a place you'll love to call home.
Hello and welcome back to Travisso Luxury Living. We're continuing our conversation on what the market looks like at this moment in time and the opportunity that presents.
Yeah.
You know, we were discussing how prices shot way up during COVID. In fact, Tim, your research had indicated what, 30?
About a 34% increase from when we started around 2019, late 2019, into the COVID market. We saw about a 34% increase in values across the city. And since then, we've seen about a 19% decrease from those highs, from the high of the 34%. And so when you look at that over a long period of time, and you look from a normal stabilized market, like you were saying earlier, 5% appreciation rate, 3 to 5% appreciation rate, from where we are today, we're right on track for that 3 to 5% appreciation rate across the market.
Well, that definitely makes sense. And you know, it really goes to why home ownership is such an important part of a financial plan for people. You know, we don't buy homes just because they have investment qualities, right, and outcomes. But Rock, I think you said as part of your portfolio, as part of your plan, and even for people that don't have, you know, a financial portfolio of stocks and bonds and other investments, it's really the principal building block to start with.
American dream, right?
Yes.
It goes back to the American dream.
And let's break that down for a second. How does homeownership actually create wealth? Well, first of all, I think it's fair to say whether you rent or you own, you're paying somebody's mortgage.
Got to live somewhere.
Right? That's right. And so if you can have that housing cost go towards something that goes up in value, instead of something that's just volatile, then I think that's a great place to start, right? And then let's talk also about what even a modest 3% appreciation means. Certainly some people pay cash for their homes.
Yes.
And I think probably in this market it's 10% or so. Maybe it's 15, 20. Some people put large down payments. But I'd say on average, we see people putting 10 to 20% down. Let's assume you put 20% down, right? You put 20% down on an $800,000 home. So you've got 160 invested. Does that sound about right? Check my math. But you're getting growth on all $800,000. So if your $800,000 investment goes up just 3% a year, then it's worth $824 that year. Well, you had $24,000 worth of growth on a $160,000 investment. That's pretty good math.
That's
pretty good.
Excellent
Right?
math, yes.
And it's safe, it's stable. Meanwhile, your loan balance is going down each year. You might be able to write off, depending on how your tax plan works. You might be able to write off property taxes and interest if you have enough to itemize.
Yep.
So
A lot of
even more
people working
savings.
from home have advantages as well, you
That-
know,
that's true.
for the use. And just the overall enjoyment of owning your home. There's nothing like it. That's something I think that once you experience, you just have a hard time giving that up and just getting into the game, you know, just trying to
right.
figure out whether you have, you know, 10% or 20%. It's in the long run, it's whatever you can get to get into the game is the most important thing. That's what I tell my clients. It's like, you know, pick an area, pick a home that makes you happy, that you can enjoy and plan and, you know, for your future.
Right. And when we're talking about financial opportunities to buy, I think many of the builders across town, and of course Taylor Morrison, we're offering some great financing incentives, right? So for those buyers that might only have 10% down, now's a great time to buy. We have a program called Buy Build Beyond, which is allowing customers to do away with their private mortgage insurance for not putting 20% down.
That's
They're only putting 10% down. That can save them $200, $300 a month on their monthly mortgage payment, right? And so we have people that we know are waiting on the sidelines, waiting to get that 20% to put down, but it's not necessary. Builders are covering closing costs. Builders are supplementing for rates. And with our Buy Build Beyond program, we're supplementing with mortgage insurance.
That's a wonderful program, you know. I had a client ask me the other day, is this the right time to buy? And my response was, it's never a bad time to own real estate. It's really difficult to try and time the market and get it
It's like buying
perfect.
stocks. I
Right,
mean,
it's
you try
exactly
to
like
time
that.
buying stocks, and then the next day they go down 700 points. But it's a long-term investment.
Right.
Yeah, but it's doing this, right? It's fluctuating on an upward trajectory. 100%. Yeah. And so never a bad time to own. Generally speaking, it's better to own today than tomorrow, and
Absolutely.
yesterday than today.
Yes.
So the sooner the better. But in this moment of time, I think affordability is better than it's been in a little while. Interest rates have come down just a little bit.
Right.
And that's helped.
Yes.
Prices have got back into balance. So we have a balanced market where neither buyer nor seller have a distinct advantage. So we're dealing on even footing.
Yes.
You're offering various incentives, financing incentives to help bridge the gap. Eliminating mortgage insurance could save $200 or $300 a
Right.
month. But then you're also building this great energy efficient product, Tim.
Exactly. One of the other things from a cost savings perspective, our purchasing teams have been hard at work getting cost savings, right? So when we saw prices go up, it was a lot of material costs went up, labor costs went up. So the cost of building a home went up. Well, we have to work to bring those prices down. They don't just give us
right.
discounts, right? So over time, our purchasing teams and other vendors have been bringing their prices down, and we've been able to pass that savings along to the customer.
Taylor Morrison has always been highly respected in the industry for their value engineering and how hard they work at really focusing on the features and finishes that matter to consumers.
Yes.
That enhance the experience, but where the marginal cost to add those things is less than the perceived value to the consumers.
Yes. Right now, we're in the midst of a complete product redevelopment for Taylor Morrison. We started with our first-time homebuyer product, first, and value engineered that and allowed that cost savings that we've been talking about to come down and offer that product. Here in Travisso, we're rolling out our new 50-foot wide product, which we build on 60-foot lots. So now you can get one of our best-selling floor plans redesigned with higher ceilings and more features at a lower price than what you could 2 years ago because of the value engineering in the new product.
I love it. Higher standards, great prices.
Yes.
People will recognize those details.
Yes.
And I want to commend Taylor Morrison on something else. Recently, sometime within the last few months, I participated in a focus group where they brought some agents together, people that were active in the new home sector, and really just sought out feedback. And to commit the time, everybody's busy, right?
Oh, yes.
To commit the time to just listen and ask for feedback. And let me tell you, it was all over the map. And some people have their pet projects and initiatives.
Their own agenda.
but you didn't skip steps.
No.
You listened and you sought out feedback.
And that's something that is really evident in this community. We touched on the multi-generational. That's something that Taylor Morrison, for their floor plans, are excellent in offering, what's needed for the multi-generational. And I think that's one of my biggest comments is clients that I've come where I know that there is that need, and Taylor Morrison has been able to
Big
really
leader
hit it.
in multi-gen, no doubt.
Yes.
You guys,
Yes.
y'all have been on the leading edge of that sector for some
It's
time.
interesting with the multi-gen, you would think that the absorption of that product would be a lot higher than what it is. But we're seeing families, when we think about multi-gen, we think about maybe a separated space away from the family to create like a second apartment or something like that. But what we're seeing is actually families want to live together.
Yeah.
They don't want to be separated.
And let's talk about that just a little bit more, because as industry professionals, we'll talk multi-generational, multi-gen, and we know what we're talking about.
Yes.
But for those of you at
That's
home,
true. Good point.
understand what does multi-generational housing or a multi-generational home environment mean to you?
Yeah, for me, it's about separate living spaces within the home, a game room, a media room, a space that you can go and maybe you can close the doors and have some private time, but then large communal spaces, large kitchens, large family rooms, large outdoor living spaces, those types of things in order to bring the family together. You know, multiple bedrooms on the first floor is another really big example of a
And real common multi-gen scenario is like parents living
Caring
with
for a
children.
parent, yeah.
Yes.
For elderly
Children
parents.
caring for older parents, sometimes being able to provide some support for families where they've got two people working in the household and having someone there to greet the kids when they get home from school.
Yep.
One kind of helps the other out, and they can still be very close knit and reside together.
Or adult children living in the home.
Yes.
So this is
That's-
another big
yes,
trend
that
that
is
we're
another big
seeing is
trend.
that kids are staying with their families a lot longer. You know, maybe going to college and then coming back and living with their parents to save some money to buy
Right.
their own place.
That's right.
And so the larger product, the homes that we design specifically to house those multi-generational families are really beneficial.
Yeah, and to that end, I think there's something to be said for that. Just slightly off track here, but giving your children an opportunity to accumulate some savings, to prepare them, and actually have some time together
Yes.
as adults, and not just having that parental experience and off you
Off
go.
to college and then there they go
I think
forever.
we were able to enjoy that with our children, and it's certainly a special opportunity. So multi-gen certainly creates lots of great solutions for different types of housing needs and families. We've covered a lot today, and I think we could talk about this for hours and hours, but the homes that Taylor Morrison are building in this spectacular community are worth visiting. And so consider Leander, consider Travisso, and Taylor Morrison is a great place to start. You've got wonderful models here.
We have wonderful models. We have a wonderful sales team with lots of experience, and they're passionate about helping families find the right house for them.
Yeah, and don't forget, I would suggest stopping by the amenity centers because they are unforgettable. They're something to take a look at because you would not expect to see an amenity center. You walk in, you think you're walking into a spa.
Yes.
So if you're considering your new home journey and you want to get some help, come visit the pros here at Travisso. If you want some information as it relates to your current home or making a seamless transition from the home you're in to the one you'd like to own, myself or Raquel would love to help you with that. Thank you so much for joining us today. We look forward to seeing you again next Sunday.